totally new in my experience, and come with me. The house is unsafe for you to remain in. Hear how it cracks and trembles. Another blast like that, and we shall be roofless." She was moving toward the door, which to my amazement stood ajar, but my hesitation stopped her. "Won't you come?" she whispered, turning her face towards me, with a look of such potent determination. I followed in spite of myself. "I dare not let you stay here. Your blood will be upon my head." "You exaggerate," I replied, shrinking back with a longing look at the comfortable bed I had just left. "These old houses are always strong. It will take many such gusts as that you hear to overturn it, I assure you." "I exaggerate," she returned with a look of scorn impossible to describe. "Hark!" she said. "Hear that!" I did hear, and I must acknowledge that it seemed as if we were about to be swept from our foundations. "Yes," said I, "but it is a fearful night to be out in." "I shall go with you," said she. "In that case," I began with an ill-advised attempt at gallantry, which she cut short with a gesture. "Here is your hat," remarked she, "and here is your bag. The fishing pole must remain. You cannot carry it." "But," I expostulated. "Hush!" said she, with her ear turned towards the depths of the staircase, at the top of which we stood. "My father and brother will think as you do that it is folly to leave the shelter of a roof for the uncertainties of the road on such a night as this. But you must not heed them. I tell you shelter this night is danger, and that the only safety to be found is on the stormy highway." And without waiting for my reply, she passed rapidly downstairs, pushed open a door at the bottom, and stepped at once into the room we had left an hour or so before. What was there in that room that for the first time struck an ominous chill as of a distant peril through my veins? Nothing at first sight, everything at the second. The fire, which had not been allowed to die out, still burned brightly on the ruddy hearthstone, but it was not that which awakened my apprehension. Nor was it the loud ticking clock on the mantelpiece with its hand pointing silently to the hour of 11. Nor yet the heavy quiet of the scantily furnished room with its one lamp burning on the deal table against the side of the wall. It was the sight of those two powerful men, drawn up in grim silence, the one against the door leading to the front hall, the other against that opening to the kitchen. A glance at Luttra standing silent and undismayed at my side, however, instantly reassured me. With that will exercised in my favor, I could not but win through whatever it was that menaced me. Slinging my bag over my shoulder, I made a move towards the door and the silent figure of my host, but with a quick outreaching of her hand, she drew me back. "Stand still," said she. "Karl," she went on, turning her face towards the more sullen but less intent countenance of her brother, "open the door and let this gentleman pass. He finds the house unsafe in such a gale and desires to leave it. At once," she continued as her brother settled himself more determinedly against the lock. "I don't often ask favors." "The man is a fool that wants to go out in a night like this," quoth the fellow with a dogged move. "And so are you to encourage it. I think too much of your health to allow it." She did not seem to hear. "Will you open the door?" she went on, not advancing a step from the fire, before which she had placed herself and me. "No, I won't," was the brutal reply. "It's been locked for the night, and it's not me, nor one like me, that will open it." With a sudden whitening of her already pale face, she turned towards her father. He was not even looking at her. "Someone must open the house," said she, glancing back at her brother. "This gentleman purposes to leave, and his whim must be humored. Would you unlock that door, or shall I?" An angry snarl interrupted her. Her father had bounded from the door where he stood and was striding hastily towards her. In my apprehension, I put up my arm for a shield, for he looked ready to murder her, but I let it drop again as I caught her glance which was like white flame, undisturbed by the least breeze of personal terror. "You will stop there," said she, pointing to a spot a few feet from where she stood. "Another step, and I'll let that for which I have heard you declare you would peril your very soul fall into the heart of the flames." And drawing from her breast a roll of bills, she stretched them out above the fire before which she was standing. "You!" broke from the gray, bearded lips of the old man, but he stopped where he was, eyeing those bills as if fascinated. "I am not a girl of many words, as you know," continued she in a lofty tone, inexpressibly commanding. "You may strangle me, you may kill me, it matters little, but this gentleman leaves the house this night, or I destroy the money with a gesture." "You!" again broke from those quivering lips, but the old man did not move. Not so the younger. With a rush he left his post, and in another instant would have had his powerful arms about her slender form, only that I met him halfway with a blow that laid him on the floor at her feet. She said nothing, but one of the bills immediately left her hand and fluttered into the fire, where it instantly shriveled into nothing. With the yell of a mad beast wounded in its most vulnerable spot, the old man before us stamped with his heel upon the floor. "Stop!" cried he, and going rapidly to the front door he opened it. "There!" shrieked he, "if you will be fools, go, and may the lightning blast you! But first give me the money." "Come from the door," said she, reaching out her left hand for the lantern hanging at the side of the fireplace, "and let Karl light this and keep himself out of the way." It was all done. In less time than I can tell it, the old man had stepped from the door, the younger one had lit the lantern, and we were in readiness to depart. "Now do you proceed," said she to me. "I will follow." "No," said I. "We will go together." "But the money!" growled the heavy voice of my host over my shoulder. "I will give it to you on my return," said the girl. End of chapter 11. Recorded by Winna Hathaway in Fayetteville, North Carolina.